Good afternoon, church family. Well, wasn't last weekend a crazy weekend, especially on Sunday? Showing up here fully expecting to have our services outdoors, despite the heat and all kinds of things were going on. But and our crew is amazing. Our guys show up here at 5:30, pulling out stuff on the outdoor stage, recognizing that there's lightning in the area, some drizzle in the area, thinking that we maybe just wait a few more minutes and it'll clear up. And finally, we had to make the call whenever there's lightning, whenever there's rain. There's just no way we can do that. So they did a great job of just transitioning to indoors. About 7 in the morning, bless her heart, Janice Worsing comes out to be able to help us set up the tents out here. And we told her that because of all the different elements that we can't do outdoor service. And she goes, well, let's just wait. It'll clear up. And I know that that's not only her heart, but the heart of many of you, that we just want to worship together in every way we can. So we've known that worshiping outside, we're not in control of the elements. Things are going to change, and we're going to have to respond to those as they are. And so we did that this weekend. Every weekend, our desire is to be able to meet and worship out here as long as we can. And so we're going week by week, at the same time praying that God works through scientists and works through even politicians to be able to make it to where we can get through this pandemic and to be able to worship together in safety back inside at some point. I was thinking about so many things that have changed this year, this last weekend. The weather, we've never seen anything like that. Our health has changed. Our schools are changed. Our sports have changed. Everything has changed, it seems like. But what are some things that haven't changed? First thing we think about is taxes. They don't change. We pay them whether things are good or things are bad. Our birthdays or anniversaries don't change. The way we celebrate them have changed this year. Weddings, funerals have changed in that way, but they still happen. One thing I think about is the San Francisco Giants still stink. Sorry about that, but it's not changed. I think about the things that our needs as people don't change. Our needs for hope, our needs for purpose, and our needs for security still are ongoing, and we constantly need those things that we get from the Lord. And for Jesus' church, the things that don't change are what we always talk about, why we exist: to worship God, to love people, and to share Christ. They don't change. They'll never change, no matter what pandemic is taking place. We need to be able to recognize our purposes for being here. The prime aspect of our church, we talked about this on Sunday a little bit, is that we produce disciples. That never changes, even in a pandemic time. And one of the ways that we do that is through Rooted. And so many of you have been through that. If you haven't yet been through Rooted, signups are going on now online. It begins September the 13th. And discipling is just what we do. It's what we produce. No matter what's going through, we're going to find a way to get it done this fall. Meeting outside, however that means, meeting inside, whatever we're going to do to get discipling done. It's a huge thing. For those of you who have been through Rooted, I would encourage you that you're still a discipler, that in whatever form that might be, to be able to meet with somebody to pray together. Maybe to share what you've learned through Rooted and go through Rooted on a one-on-one basis with someone who's either not a Christian yet or someone who is a possibility for you. Maybe you take that book that we've been encouraging all summer long, the book Gospel by J.D. Greer, going through that with another person to kind of disciple each other is a form of discipling. We have to find ways to do what we're commanded to do, and that's to make disciples, pandemic or no pandemic. It's essential that we recognize our calling in this way. It's essential that we recognize that also what's not changed is God's heart for the lost. God's heart for the lost, especially when we see the numbers of people who are dying, and so many are dying without Christ. And so we as the church, we ought to be most in tune with the need for lost people to come to Jesus. And as a church, both corporately and as individuals, that's our desire, to find out ways to reach people. We found out in the last year that so many of our biggest events as a church family have been canceled because of weather, because of the pandemic. And yet we're still looking at creative ways to reach people, to engage with them. And so our staff is talking about what we can do this fall, what we can do this winter at harvest time, Halloween time, and at Christmas time, to be able to engage with people. And we invite your ideas on this. If you've got some creative ideas on how we can, in this time, creatively reach our community to let them know that we love them in the name of Jesus Christ, let us know. Call me up, call any of our staff members up, and let's talk. We want to be able to do some things this fall, this winter, in a way that we can still create people. We're not done. We're not closing up shop and waiting for this thing to be over. We're doing everything that we can to love people for Jesus Christ. So I hope that this is part of your life and understanding that the unchangeables of being a believer in Jesus Christ, every day they're calling to us. I desire to grow personally. Why? Because I want to live the purposes of Jesus Christ in my life. I want to reach the lost in any way I can, believing that God has equipped me to do that, to love the people in my life today. So church, thank you again for being flexible in the details of life, especially details of worship. We're going to continue on believing that Christ is going to provide for us a day at a time, a week at a time, and we're looking forward to seeing you on Sunday, either in person or live streaming. God bless you.